everyone, RogueGold here, and today I want to talk about Season 11. Last week we got our first glimpse at some of the big changes heading our way in the Season 11 TU17 update for the Division 2, those primarily being some pretty substantial and pretty positive improvements for the PvP side of the game, since we heard that Season 11 was going to have somewhat of a PvP focus a few months back. And so, while there's plenty of things for PvP players to be looking forward to, that doesn't mean that there's nothing for PvE players to anticipate. And in fact, there's one big change slated for Season 11 that's going to have a major impact on every type of player in the game. If you want my full recap on the changes coming, I'll pin them in the top corner right now for you to go and check out. But for the one that I want to focus on in this video, that's the switch up they're making to the exclusive exotic rewards in the game. In case you didn't hear, this is what is stated on the known issues board. Exotics that are otherwise exclusive to a specific content or source are now available as random contaminated drops in the DZ. Now the big debate that has broken out is, well, does that include raid exotics? Are we going to see the likes of the Eagle Bear and the Ravenous available as random DZ drops? And while I want to stress that this is not confirmed and we do absolutely need to wait for official confirmation to be fully certain, from everything I have heard, I am under the impression that yes, raid exotics are indeed included in these upcoming plans. Which I said on stream the other day, regardless of if you think this is a good idea or not, this is a bold move on Massive's part, and I do really respect the guts to do it. So what this is suddenly going to create is an immense new drive for so many kinds of new players to want to enter the DZ and to get these previously exclusive exotics. And I've already had several people tell me as much, that after hearing about the upcoming changes, they're preparing to get way more invested into playing the Dark Zone. And for many, I know that sounds daunting and undesirable, and while I can't necessarily agree, I love the Dark Zone through and through. What I wanted to do in this video is lay out my best tips and guide for how you can begin to prepare for Season 11 if you find yourself being one of those players who now has a major incentive to go into the DZ. Whether it ends up being because the Eagle Bearer is now available in there, or if it just ends up being the likes of the Bighorn or other quest exotics that people don't have yet. However it plays out, there is undoubtedly going to be a wave of fresh meat heading into the DZ in Season 11, and I want to try and do my best to help you not get cooked right off the bat. So there are two kind of major avenues of advice that I want to give here. The first is, if you're somebody who, because of the announced changes, are not gearing up and wanting to stand a chance in PvP combat in the Dark Zone, maybe you've played some PvP before but didn't like it a ton but are feeling reinvigorated, maybe you used to play it back in Div 1 or early in Div 2, but it feels foreign to you now with all the changes. Whatever the case is, you want to stand a fighting chance, I can help. Because, and while I hope this doesn't cause too many eye rolls, earlier this year I sat down and made over an hour-long video outlining my ultimate beginner's guide to Division 2 PvP. And I don't want you to take this from me, I'm not sitting here and telling you I made a great guide. The video has an over 97% like to dislike ratio, and at a quick glance at the comment section on there, it will show you that it has helped a lot of people get into and be more comfortable with PvP. Obviously, I don't guarantee it will make you a PvP god or that you'll suddenly love PvP above all else, but you will come out on the other side of it feeling more confident in your PvP ability, and you'll get insight into how regular PvP players think and act, and hopefully you'll feel like you stand a bit of a fighting chance. So again, if you're somebody who sees these upcoming changes for Season 11 and thinks that they want to try and get better at PvP or prepare for it, I can offer no better advice than to go and check out that video. Other than a few minor changes that have, been implemented over time, like the nerf to shields, it's still fully relevant, and there's no way I could try and condense that hour and 10-minute video into a short section of this video, so I'm sorry to send you off to another link, but it truly will help you get acclimated to the Division 2's PvP. And if you want to check that video out, I will pin it in the top corner of this video right now. I'll leave a link to it in the description, and I will also leave it as a pinned comment, so it should be super easy to find, and if you want that resource, it's available to you. But like I said, I want to offer advice to two different kinds of people here, because I know there's many of you listening who couldn't give two craps about PvP. You don't care for it, you don't want to try it, you just want to get your raid exotics and peace out. And like I said, as much as that disheartens me because I love Division PvP, I'm not blind. I know that there's a lot of you who never want a single thing to do with PvP ever. So, what advice can I offer you? How can you prepare to enter the DZ in Season 11? The truth is, you've been watching me do it in the background this entire time. Go into the DZ. Now that might sound reductive, I'm being harsh, but let me elaborate on what I mean here. For a lot of people, and I know because I've spoken to many of them over time, there is a huge stigma surrounding the DZ. People say it's dripping with toxicity, there are 4-man rogue squads lurking at every single checkpoint waiting to gank you, rogues just climbing out of every crevice to kill you as soon as you call an extraction. Now of course I'm exaggerating and teasing a bit, obviously those things do happen, otherwise people wouldn't say it, but I promise you it's not as common as you think. I'm somebody who seeks out PvP in the DZ, and I often have to actively search search for it because there's just not as many dangerous people in there as you would think. Like I said, will you sometimes find that squad who ganks you in teabags? Yes, it sucks, but it's not an everyday occurrence. And so, more than anything, if you want to be able to go into the DZ and get some of these newly available exotics in Season 11, but you don't want to have to interact with people or PvP, then you at least have to know the layouts, and that's exactly what you've been seeing me do in this gameplay, is use some of the more hidden side passageways, make my way from landmark to landmark, and get shit done. You know, because of the smaller DZ sizes in Division 2, I often hear the complaint of, well, they're so small that it's impossible to extract without somebody showing up when they're in the same server. And while that's mostly true, yes, they're also so small that it's just as easy for you to be able to retreat to checkpoint turrets before you die. But I guarantee you that you won't and can't be prepared to make those fast retreats and use the environment to your advantage if you don't know where the hell you're going. So my biggest piece of advice that I can give to prepare for Season 11 if you plan on going into the DZ with these new changes is don't wait. Go into the DZ right now. Go before the big rush of players comes in TU17. Get into those empty lobbies and explore. Figure out where the landmarks are, the chests, the patrols, discover the passageways, the escape routes, the alleyways. I guarantee you can go in there, not call any extractions, and have long, interrupted play sessions without drawing attention to yourself. Because like I said, it's only going to get busier after Season 11 drops. So if you want to have a chance at surviving when that Eagle Bear is in your bag, do yourself a favor and learn the 3 DZ layouts now. And I promise that that alone will make you far more equipped to survive the DZ than without that knowledge. Because part of people's problems, I think, is the lack of knowledge of these spaces exacerbates other frustrations. If you end up getting killed by another player, it's only going to further frustrate you that you didn't know where the hell you were running to and you ended up at a dead end. So why live with that disadvantage when you can help it? So once again, my advice is to go into the DZs while they're still empty, learn the layouts, find your preferred landmarks and easy escape routes, all of it. That way, once Season 11 is here, once it's time to get farming, you at least have something working in your favor. Because yes, people will show up at your extractions once they know they might be finding an Eagle Bear in people's bags, but you don't have to be that helpless player standing in the middle of the extraction zone. Go in there, learn what's around you, know the quickest route back to a checkpoint where you can safely wait things out, and then stay on the edge of an extraction zone and use a decoy for disguise while you're waiting for that helicopter to come in, so that as soon as you get a scent of danger, you can immediately turn around and run. And as annoying as the thought of an hour-long cat and mouse chase for one exotic might sound, I guarantee that's going to be far less annoying than counting on blind faith to protect you when you walk up to an unfamiliar extraction zone, call in to extract your Eagle Bear, and then get shot out of the shadows when you don't know where the hell you are in the first place. Help you, help yourself. Don't wait around for the frustrations to come later on. Get into the DZ and make a plan while you can. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and be sure to subscribe with notifications on to be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts on this topic with the upcoming Season 11 changes. If you missed my other video, then firstly, what is your reactions to some of these new ideas? But then also, what do you think of these tips here? If you're a DZ regular, anything else you would add on to what I said to help people out? Or if you're somebody who is getting ready to take on the DZ in Season 11, what else gives you some hesitation? Whatever y'all's thoughts are on those or anything else we discussed, I will as always be very curious to read through your comments. I know there's likely to be some controversy with this one. It's inevitable. The people will be unhappy that the raid exotics are being moved. Well, likely. Again, we need to wait for final official confirmation on that, but I'm sure there's going to be others who are mad that anything new is being placed into the DZ. Like I said, it's inevitable. It's always how Division is gone. As for me, who is a DZ PvP person, I'm just happy to see some changes coming after literal years of everything being the same, but that's just me. Again, I would love to hear your thoughts about it down below. That's going to do it for me today, though. Everybody, once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold. Ow.